So as you see on the screen, in 2 days, well, basically 3 days actually, at the time of this recording, we are going to have the Easy A's, all 9 of these Easy A's actually in game. Very, very exciting, having 9 Easy A's dropped at us. Though I feel like we should have probably had like some of these even drop on the 18th, right when the God Goku came out. But hey, it's really weird to wait 6 whole days to drop these units, but that's fine. So the reason why we know, well, I'll say details should be tonight, right? On the JP Twitter, we should get tweets tweeted out about these guys' sub Z's. I don't know how they're gonna handle it. If they're gonna do all 9 of them at like 1 a.m. my time, or if they're gonna drop like some at 11 and then some at 1, right? We'll see. We already know the details for this guy. I guess just talk about him real quick, right? We know the details for this unit. I think this unit seems pretty good, and I think that people aren't talking about them. I feel like they should. I'm a pretty big fan of how this unit's design is, and hopefully they'll be really, really good in game. If some of these Easy A's, like some of these Beerus's and Whis are really good, that'll drastically help this unit's strength overall. So we'll see what happens with this Beerus and Whis, but today we're going to mostly talking about all these Easy A's and what I would like to see them do. So we're going to start off with the 2 God Gokus, and we're just going to kind of make our way down like this list. We'll be talking about every single Easy A here and what I want to see from their Easy A. Again, details will be later today, so that's why I'm doing this now, right? The AGL God Goku, I think this is one that a lot of people are really, really excited about because he's a representative of Universe 7 category unit. So I did make some designs ahead of time for some of these units, not all of them, just the most of them when I had time like during the day, just so I can get an idea generally of what I would like to see these guys do. So this unit is very, very basic in what he's doing. I gave him a pretty substantial upgrade here, so just talking about it. I gave him defense stacking on his super attack effect. I feel like that's just the easy, like, way kind of buff his super attack effect. He already stacks attack. If they wanted to be mean, they can give him like a defense raise for 1 turn, but I feel like they're probably just going to give him stacking attack and defense based on how his fight went with Kale and Khalifa, right? He basically just kept getting stronger as he, like, quote-unquote recovered his energy whilst he was fighting them. Very odd, like, thought process, but that's what happened. So that's where we're gonna go. Pretty big buff here. So I got 80% attack and defense start of turn. I bumped that up all the way to 159%. That should be pretty good. Then for the first 5 turns, to give him a high chance to dodge. It feels like, I don't know, to me he feels like a dodging kind of unit, right? For the first 5 turns, whilst he's still building up his power. And I think that he's like kind of dodging and weaving Cal and Khalifa. And once he turns Super Saiyan God, he finds it pretty easy to handle them until they fuse the Kefla, right? But that's different. This is really the God Goku that fought Cal and Khalifa. Like, you can tell from his super attack name, you're still green, right? He's fighting the Cal Khalifa, so he's kind of like mentoring them during this. I gave him this ability, so he supports representatives of Universe 7 and Universe Survival Saga. Key 1 and 25% attack and defense, so obviously if you're on both of those teams, you get Key 2 and 50% support for attack and defense. I think that's fair. Just make him really heavily based towards Tournament of Power, because we have the Dokkan Festival God Goku, and there's going to be a ton of these God Gokus. He's going to be the only one that's going to be on this Universe 7 team, Universe Survival Saga team as well, so I'm very much pushing him towards there. This would be a pretty nasty buff for the STR Blue Kalkin Goku, but I think that's fine. And another thing, this guy doesn't have Tournament of Power, so naturally he's going to have some issues linking with some of these units, because he's not like a prepared for battle unit, right? Tournament of Power is very prominent on that team. So I'm giving like key support here is really good. Then just last thing, he does an additional super attack if there's another representative of Universe 7 category ally attacking in the same turn. A little restrictive, right? But this team has some good units on there, and he's going to be wanting to be used on that team with STR Blue Kalkin Goku. So that's kind of the idea here. He's basically an STR Blue Kalkin Goku like helper in a sense, right? That's kind of the way he designed him here. Link sets and categories are the same, obviously, but he's on a lot of different teams. I mean, eventually Representative Universe 7 will get good enough where, like, even like on Goku family, you can run a rotation of this Blue Kalkin Goku, and this guy would be a really good thing to see, right? So that's pretty much it for this AGL God Goku. Next, we have the STR God Goku. He's pretty much the same as the AGL one, except he gets this 30% raise of attack and defense for 3 turns. He has First Awaken as well, and he's on some separate teams, but he's basically on all the teams that the Dokkan Fist God Goku is on. So my thought process of this design is that this guy will be like a floating unit, right? So I give him this raise. I bumped this up by 50% into 6 turns. So he has more time to keep that buff, and it's a bigger buff. So even if you, again, are pushing him off rotation like that, he still could get a pretty good effect from there. And if you do decide to keep him on rotation and build the team a little around him, he can really shoot up in power. Same attack and defense, 159% on super. That I feel like they would make this. They might make these guys a little similar just in their base stats. I made a rainbow orb change. I can't even speak. Made up a rainbow orb changer. Gave him nuking ability, 7% attack and defense per key sphere obtained to get that start of turn buff for here. An extra 59% attack when collecting 1 rainbow key sphere. Guaranteed crit when collecting 2 more rainbow key spheres. I kind of took like this idea about that from Bardock, the Tech Dokkan Festival Bardock. Then he has a guard, and then it gives all allies 30% attack and defense if he's the 3rd attacker in the turn, which is going to be a majority. I feel like you're going to want to run him in the 3rd slot, right, to get the support and guard, especially as he's aging out throughout the, years or so. But you could run him on rotation if you really wanted to. You could focus on getting him some extra orbs, and while he won't guard, he'll get the extra defense built up, and I think he could look pretty powerful there. So I don't know, I kind of built this guy to be like a slot 3 unit primarily, basically like a tech god Goku. That was, you can't run in slot 1 like the tech god Goku. You can't have this guy in slot 3 because so many of these god Gokus are in slot 1. The Dokkan Festival god Goku, tech god Goku, right? One of these god Gokus could even be a pretty strong slot 1 unit. So having like a slot 3 like supporting unit, same as the AGO one, I think would be a really good idea for these guys, so that you can still use multiple of them in the team. Another slot 1 god Goku is the Int LR Super Saiyan god Goku, right? Because of his dodge chance, he could very easily be ran in slot 1, right? So yeah, link sets stay the same, right? But that's it for there. We have the STR Blue Goku next. So this guy is obviously different because he's a Future Saga category unit. So I wanted to make him like built around time travelers and Future Saga, because I feel like very clearly we're gonna get another Blue Goku. I don't think like a Blue Goku from the tournament, not tournament powerful. Yeah, that's more likely than like a Blue Goku from Future Saga, right? Like as a Dokkan Fest, though, like that rage moment he did against Zamasu could easily get something. I think like this guy being built towards those teams. Well, we got a Blue Goku for like the Universe 6 tournament of Power, even Dragon Ball Super Broly. Like that's probably most deserving for a Blue Goku as a Dokkan Fest rather than this Future Saga one. So make him built towards that. I gave him 50% attack and defense for the return, supreme damage. He doesn't have any super attack effects, so I think that greatly raised makes sense for like a super Kamehameha type super attack, right? Key 2 and 159% attack and defense. If he's facing one enemy, he has 159% extra defense and a high chance to dodge, which is pretty good. You're usually going to see that, so that's where he's usually going to be like that. But if he gets against 2 or more enemies, which is basically Super Battle Road, 59% attack and defense, so he does actually do a little more damage, just a little less offense. But he does have a high chance to steal enemy super attack. That's all enemies. So if you're using this guy in Super Battle Road, there's multiple enemies. He has a 50% chance to seal every single enemy on the rotation, which is very influential and could lead you to very easily win runs. An experience I had with a unit like that is the Super Strike King Cold. He has that ability, I believe. I think it's a stun instead of a seal, but like sealing them, meaning they can't super you, could be really good for those type of fights. I gave him 25% attack and defense support. Then time travelers get another 25% in addition. No key there. I mean, I guess you could add like 1 key there if I really wanted to. Then he gets a guaranteed additional super attack if there's a Pure Saiyan or Hyper Saiyan unit on the team. So he's very basic, right? He has a dodge chance. He just builds up like that. He's a support. Doesn't really need to be too special because there's like not other units that he's competing with on this team, right? Unlike the God Gokus, where I feel like, okay, hopefully they have a little more care put into them where they're kind of playing a different role. Blue Goku is a little much more flexible with that. So I don't think he necessarily needs to be like put towards having one specific role. He could just be generally good, and I think I'd be fine with that. Strong link set as well, good teams, right? So that's why I designed him that way. We have Vegeta and Bulma next as the next unit here. I think a lot of people are excited for this unit. I was thinking about trying to again make this really realistic, but I kind of said, you know, screw it. Let's make them a little better. They could make them better than this concept. I feel easily, but I try to be realistic with a lot of these. They may like seem like very powerful on paper, like 159%, 50% support, right? Which is really good. But if you do the math on their stats, right, you could see like they're balanced for the most part, I'd say. Now this Vegeta, I did this as a joke kind of, but this is the super attack effect that the new Vegeta has. I don't know or think that they'll give him a defense raise for the turn. Ideally he gets attack and defense here, but I'm just gonna be completely realistic. They're scared of these counter units, man. I'm really worried for this guy. So I don't know, maybe my worry kind of went into his concept here. I think I could bump this up to 150% actually. Again, I was messing with a friend when I was making this concept a little, so I kind of had the numbers a little lower. You know, that's great. In the video, let's just make them strong. strong, right? 50% damage received against normals and counters tremendous power. I don't think they're going to make him tank super attacks at all. 50% attack and defense within the same turn after receiving an attack. So that will mean that he's able to, like, kind of, it's basically what happened in the movie. He sees Bulma gets hit, he gets, you know, mad. That's why he does the counter, right? But this would directly go into the counter. I gave him this ability. 10% crit chance for the turn, and then all allies get 5% attack for 2 turns with each attack he performs. That does count as counters. So the more counters he gets, the more multiplicative support that he provides to the next rotation. Again, that's for 2 turns, and that's in the attacking phase. So if he gets hit 4 times, he's providing 20% multiplicative support to the next rotation, and he would have a 40% chance to crit in the last hit, right? His own attacks that he does would count, so that also does affect him and his overall damage. I was kind of thinking about how to make this guy like a little different. It's like make him stand out from being your typical counter unit. And counter units like always have like some sort of like supporting ability, like an attack, although it's usually on their super attack effects to increase their counter damage. I think, what if they do it here, right? That could be really interesting. But his rage mode right here just made it very typical. Give him a stun chance. I think that could be cool, just to stun the enemy maybe in certain situations, and then you leave the transformation like, oh hey, the enemy's stunned now. Just made him a double key sphere change it to STRI and give him guaranteed crits. I think that's just really what giant forms like rage forms should have now at this point, right? It's just bare minimum, especially for TURs. Next we have the Incargoku. I made him different than the other ones, I feel like, in a good way. I gave him stacking defense, a little like the AGL one, but this guy's actually a 30% stack of defense instead of a 20% stack of attack and defense. Then he also debuffs, right? He's the only God Goku in this concept group that I made that would actually debuff. This is the same, right? I think they're probably going to do something similar like this for all of them, honestly. We'll see. 59% attack and defense performed with super attack, very basic. Then he has an HP restriction here, 30% HP. I got rid of that there, but I give him extra abilities here when he's above 40% HP. So if he's above that HP threshold, he has a high chance to crit, and then it has 30% damage reduction. When HP falls below 40%, he does recover 59% HP once only, but then he does get a great chance to evade enemies' attacks, including super attacks. So that's what happens there. He loses the 30% reduction, but he has a 70% chance to evade now, which you could probably argue is better than just 30% reduction. I think this guy would be good because he has the multiplicative stats. He's stacking defense. He's like kind of like a more of a utility unit with the heal and stuff like that than the other God Goku. So there could be situations where you're like, hey, I kind of do want to use this, especially like a no item run setting. You can get that heal under the 40% HP, which is basically what the Kai Goku has, the new LR Kai Goku has, and I find this to be a very strong ability. 59% HP is a lot. You gotta keep that in mind. Again, your generic saying links there, but that is it for what I wrote down here. We're gonna take a look at the rest of the EZAs and kind of just guess what they're gonna do. Again, a lot of them are the Beerus and Whis' EZAs. We'll talk about this Beerus first. Again, all of them probably, like this unit, I think, if we're going to talk about what this Beerus EZA should be, we should base around this guy. He gets hit once and he has a high chance to dodge for 7 turns, and there's extra stats. So I think this unit will be actually a pretty fine slot 1 unit, so I'm not worried about this Beerus having to be slot 1. He gets like all of his stats on super attack, so I could see him being like 150, 60% attack defense on super attack. This defense raise 30% for 6 turns, probably will get attack on top of that. I could see him like create key spheres. He is the N-type nuker, and maybe he gets like start of turn stats per key sphere he does obtain. I mean, if we take a look at what some of these other Beerusers are doing, like if you take a look at the Dokkan Festival physical Beerus, yeah, he does have Rainbow Orb Changing. Maybe again, Orb Changing could be good. Maybe he gets super effective against all types if there's like a Realm of Gods category ally on the rotation. That could be interesting. But you basically are going to run him with this guy, so he's going to be want to tailor it around him. I don't know if they're going to make this Beerus support. I guess they could. I feel like I made like every unit like here a support unit, but like I also feel like every unit now is just support somehow, right? Even if it's just orb changing, right? So that could be good for this guy. Whis is an actual support unit though. Again, he does also link pretty well with this LR. Just make him Chilai. Yeah, 70% chance to dodge, like 150% attack and defense, or 130% whatever start of turn. Multiplicative defense with each dodge he gets. Maybe he recovers like 10% HP at the end of turn. Just make him Chilai. Like, yeah. Just make him Chilai. And then like 3 key, and then like 40% attacking defense for all allies would be pretty nasty, making this Whis really, really good. Just a better version of the STR one. Yeah. I guess they give him like a defense raise here, that'd be fine, but that's what I would want this Whis to be. Now, this tech Whis is a little different. He's like a stunning super battle road unit. I don't know how they're going to handle him. I'll be completely honest. This guy probably, maybe he'll just suck. Because he's straight up a super battle road unit. So they're just going to make him super battle road based, which I think is fine. But it's like super battle road is not really a focus right now. I honestly don't know what they're going to do with this guy. Maybe give him some additionals for the attack debuff. Give him some like dodge, like at least a 50% chance to dodge. Maybe he heals as well, right? Let me know what you guys think this tech Whis is gonna do. I actually can't really think of what he's gonna do besides just debuffing. Yeah, maybe give him some stun chance somewhere. That's that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of these EZA concepts I made. Which one you're the most excited for? We'll have the details officially tonight. Very excited to see what they look like, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.